On behalf of the Chancellor, the Regents, the student staff, alumni, faculty, welcome to this Living the Promise Symposium. In October, UCR launched this campaign to support the students, the faculty, to support research, to support infrastructure. When you think about a university campus, there's diversity in the student body no matter where you go. And it's a challenge for every single campus because many students, especially underrepresented students, do not succeed, do not graduate at the same levels as the majority students. This is the one campus in the country where that is not true. We're going to start with a couple readings from a couple of our participants.
I'm going to read you a very small passage that I wrote when I was 19 years old because I wrote it down the street at the gas station. This is a young girl. She's 3 years old. Her name is Elvia. And her mother has just been driven away in a police car and has been sent back across the border. The crickets resumed their shrill scraping in the black leaves all around the car. She'd awakened in the front seat. Her mother was gone. The keys were gone. Ndeche na'e. Where was her mother? She remembered her fingers wrapped around her mother's braid. Her mother had carried her on her hip. She remembered the smell of cinnamon and corn. She touched her bare neck. She was quiet, waiting for her mother to come back.
I'm going to read from an unpublished new book called The Wing Beats of Insects and Birds. The narrator, me, in this piece, has just lost her son to a disease called Tay-Sachs, which is a rare genetic disorder. And it's about grieving and loving at the same time. At the butterfly exhibit inside a humid room of domed glass, diaphanous butterflies crossed one another in patterns of flight, so precise they seemed choreographed. As my 2-year-old daughter Charlotte stopped to investigate a flower, a red gold wing of hair falling over her eyes, a butterfly landed on the top of her head. Charlotte's chubby knees quivered slightly with the effort to remain still. The butterfly settled itself, opening and closing its black and gold wings before flying away. She straightened up to watch its flight and then looked over her shoulder. To be sure I was there. What a day, I thought. What a girl. I remembered my other child, my dead child, my Ronin, without whom I never would have become pregnant or given birth to Charlotte, whom I loved as fiercely in life as I loved her brother in death. The living girl and the missing boy, siblings only in imagination, alive together only in the grief house of memory, a structure impermeable as brick and as insubstantial as a paper wall.
So we're going to move to the symposium and panel discussion.
Every one of us here represents some part of the larger creative writing work that we do here at UC Riverside. Our philosophy is that you're here to learn the craft of writing. The craft is still very much the same. What we always talk about is the importance of the story and the responsibility that you have to the story, the importance of telling stories that are about people and about characters and emphasizing the nature of storytelling through the craft of writing.
We're wired for story, aren't we? I mean, since we've been sitting around the fire, wherever we were, on the savannah, in the snow, wherever we were sitting around a fire and someone told a story, because that's the only way you can make yourself feel it.
How do you see this experience where you have so many different students with very different kinds of backgrounds and different kinds of interests? How does the MFA in Palm Desert sort of bring out the best in all of your students?
Well, the important thing I think to know about my students is that they're older. So these are writers that are coming to the craft with a lot of life experience. My job is the same as anyone else's job. It is to try to get the best out of our students to make a little difference in the world.
I think I came to writing like a lot of writers. I love to read. I loved place. I grew up in a really small town in Wyoming. Grew up poor, so we were all about the books. What I love about the undergraduates here is that they actually have good stories to tell also, and they're very young. They impress me with the way that they are able to, the way that they understand the way that narrative allows you to go on in your life without overcoming it, but metabolizing it and bringing it with you in a meaningful way.
Storytelling isn't just about writing words on a page. It's about how you present yourself. Your very identity is a story that you created about yourself. Stories are how we understand the world. The simplest story can transform the way a person thinks. And for someone like me who has as his ultimate goal the changing of minds, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to wield it whenever I can, in whatever form I can.
All right. Awesome.